What an interesting relationship. What an exciting prospects we have between these two great nations as such. Qatar and Turkey are very, 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 very special friends. G2G, P2P. And we are proud that we are the first one to step in Turkey, and the rest of the other banking fraternity followed. We set our footprint in 2006, commercially opened our office. Before that, over $1 billion exposure I had between the banks. I have taken exposure. When I saw the Qatar's enlightened vision way back in 2002, 2003 in the World Bank meeting and IMF meetings, I thought it's appropriate to bridge the gap and build the relationship. It was a very profound relationship. It is growing day by day. It is extraordinary opportunity for us to relish, and that is precisely the reason why we have lined up very good combination of speakers. We're going to discuss today. There are over 300 people have enrolled at present, and Facebook will run into multiple thousands, I'm sure. As we speak, there are questions that are also going to flow. We're going to see the opportunity to see how to promote the bilateral trade, investment, banking, and finance between these two blocks. We live in a changing world, ladies and gentlemen. Before I invite the ambassador, I want to put the purpose of this session and with the greater prospects for us to convert the crisis, COVID crisis, into an opportunity. That is the very purpose of our submission. In this changing world, COVID-19 has been impacting profoundly in terms of risk. If you look at it, it is economic risk. It is not confined to simple one sector. What we have witnessed in 2008 was confined to financial services. What we are witnessing today is a complete paralysis in terms of overall business. And every part of the business is impacted. Every sector is impacted. That's why IMF has predicted it's a great recession after 1930 depression. Now, the consequential impact, if you look at the IMF table in terms of their economic indicators, is a contraction to the globe. Contraction to the globe. Global growth is contracted to the tune of 4.9%. In aggregate terms, advanced economies are grossly underperforming to the tune of nearly 8%. Developing economies, emerging markets are also paying a heavy price. They are contracting nearly 3%. That's the level of global degeneration we are seeing. That needs to be mapped. That is why G2G, everyone is working together to synergize and come together. They are pumping additional liquidity. We don't want the liquidity crisis moved into funding, solvency, and sovereign issue. So fiscal measures, monetary measures are all taken to see that we bring in greater prospects by building the collaboration. When it comes to human risk, we have had an impact of nearly 29.5 million people in the world as we speak. And we lost nearly 933,000 people. Turkey itself done a great job in terms of healthcare. 295,000 people impacted. 261 is recovered already. And we had 7,200 people or no more. So that's the level of the impact in terms of human governance. But everyone is responding. When it comes to social governance, we have greater challenges. We are maintaining the discipline. We are ensuring the preconditions to generate proper health system. We are all adhering to. When it comes to environment, it's getting redefined. A carbon reduction environment is also evolving in greater prospects. With these four risks, we have to govern. And from the scope of business disaster to business continuity, that's what we are trying to do. With this perspective, we have today lined up this session. Now, I will present Qatar for a minute, and then we'll look at the bilateral opportunities, how we are coming together as two nations. And we will discuss the changes and opportunities in Qatar for the Turkish business community and how we can support them in terms of their business here, how we can also bring in the Qatari investors in the form of investments or joint venture opportunities, investment partnerships. There are many areas where the president representative as well as the president of the Qatar Turkish Business Council also mentioned. So we're going to discuss all this. Meanwhile, I'm going to show for our Turkish friends, Qatar, for the next 20 minutes to showcase how important this relationship, how Qatar is progressively planning the sustainability in real order. And that's the very purpose of it. Global economies, I mentioned already, I'm not going to dwell on it. And over 25 trillion has been pumped by 195 countries to improve the liquidity. And Qatar has pumped 75 billion Qatar Riyal, that is $20.5 billion. And we supported the debt servicing capacity of the business community, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. And we have also made sure we give them concessional advantage, freebies for certain sectors which are impacted on account of the COVID-19. So we are progressive, productive, and an IMF prediction I already mentioned. And we'll also be showing you the interest rates consistently coming down. If you look at Turkey, the interest rate is now 8.75%. They have progressively reduced it to make sure that business doesn't suffer. So that is the way to go. And the alignment between the monetary policy and fiscal policy, as I said, is happening in both the countries, and we have further opportunity to ease up doing business. That's more important. Qatar economy, here is a bigger picture.
Located on the region's busiest shipping route, Qatar is perfectly positioned for international trade, with direct air and sea connections to Asia, Africa and Europe. Qatar is becoming a leading destination for next-generation business models. Its thriving, knowledge-based economy has helped secure its place among the most competitive business environments in the world, an ideal destination for foreign investment. The past 4 decades have seen a 9-fold increase in Qatar's population to 2.7 million. The current political blockade by neighboring countries has only served to strengthen the nation's self-sufficiency, and strategic investment continues to accelerate. Qatar has already spent $33 billion on infrastructure projects, with new contracts to be awarded over the next 3 years, not least with the 2022 FIFA World Cup on the horizon. The national strategy, Vision 2030, is even more ambitious. Qatar is known as the world's leading supplier of liquefied natural gas and a leading player in aviation and sports and the media.
Mr. Bazar has mentioned that he has completed the handover the goal line, and it speaks of his caliber in terms of execution as well as the performance management. We have hydrocarbon also moving in the right direction. Now, this is what I want to show you. The central bank has taken action. The hydrocarbon, the minister has to say what his growth plan is all about.
But as I mentioned, regarding the North Field, we are full steam ahead. We are, as we have mentioned in the past, we're going to be awarding all our contracts for North Field expansion project. We have 2 phases, the east and the south expansion. We're going to go from 77 million tons per annum to 110 million tons per annum by 2025, and then up from 110 to 126 by the year 2027. We've ordered all the shipping requirements, and we've booked slots for about $20 billion we've announced just a couple of weeks ago, and that's at the cost of around $20 billion US, and we've booked up 60% of the entire world's capacity of building LNG ships. So these, we call them our moving pipelines, if you will, but that's to have our full supply chain up and ready by the time we have all the developments in place.
So 127 million metric ton by 2027. That's equivalent, if I put oil, gas, everything into one fabric. It's most 6 million barrels of oil equal one fabric. So that's the level of opportunity we have. We want more and more Turkish companies to come here and explore the opportunities. We have reasons to believe you can grow and You can have 100% ownership. There are opportunities. There are investment laws that have been redefined. I'll tell you in a minute. You can have 100% ownership in terms of your real estate. That is also there. You can have your own offices here and then make the most out of it. And progressive tax systems, clearly a flat 10% flat tax systems. It means even, I'm sure Mr. Bazar must have had this experience in terms of repatriation. That could be useful. These are engineering marvels. We are getting ready for 2022. And I'm sure with this bilateral partnership, we can grow together on the non-hydrocarbon side. It's only a part of the investment on the non-hydrocarbon went to stadiums. And there are other modernization plans Qatar has embarked in. The details are available with our team. I want to disseminate this information to all the Turkish companies, contractors. We want to invite them to partake in the overall frame. Now, the airport, world class in both sides, and Qatar Hamad International Airport has been set. Even during the COVID time, they have taken extraordinary measures. I'm not going to dwell on it in detail. And essentially, the opportunity in terms of international airport is there. And we have investment side. I want Turkish businessmen to look at if they are interested in the financial sector or other sectors. There's total listed companies. We have one exchange traded fund for commercial reasoning. That's best performing fund. So we have a silver bullet in terms of investments of very many indices, selective, different sectors, diversified risk, good return. That's the performance track record we have, and we'll do it. We also want to invite the Turkish companies to set up in the free zones. Free zones are mushrooming very well. There are over 6,000 companies have already stepping in, applied for it, and open your manufacturing within 72 hours. That's another opportunity. So the free zone, what's this all about? Have a look.
Authority is establishing a cluster of free zones, including Ras Bafuntas, located beside Hamad International Airport, the best airport in the Middle East, and Al Hul, with direct access to Hamad Port, the world's biggest greenfield port development. Qatar free zones offer foreign investors 100% ownership, zero customs duty and corporation tax, no individual income tax, quick building permits, and access to a skilled workforce. On the ground, free zones also provide fully serviced plots, dedicated security, hotel and retail facilities, as well as advanced broadband to ensure optimal connectivity. While Qatar welcomes investment in any sector, exciting opportunities already exist in logistics, e-commerce, food packaging, pharmaceuticals, and plastics. With an eye to the future, we're also focused on disruptive industries, such as renewable energy, power storage solutions, and artificial intelligence. Be part of the Qatar Free Zones initiative, with everything in place, from essential infrastructure and facilities to ease of shipping and customs. Your business can flourish as a truly global player in partnership with the Qatar Free Zones Authority.
That's an opportunity we'll facilitate in terms of corporate and retail. Now, let me move on to the investment side. The President representative has given enough opportunities for us to see through in terms of investments in Turkey. Qatar is also, as an institutional investor, people are looking at various options. The market is wide open, 84 million people with a progressive vision. I think we should explore the bilateral opportunities in terms of investments, investment partnership, and joint ventures. And that's the very purpose of it. From the Qatar government side, we have seen they have both sides are coming together in terms of the Supreme Committee for the bilateral relationship. Investments will be playing a bigger role. And I'm sure we can, as a professional intermediary, to support the mission, we should add value. And next one is very interesting. On the Turkish side, huge amount of opportunities in terms of technology and startup. And Qatar has also embarked on last year a very interesting program, TASMO. I want Turkish friends to look at it. That's an option where Qatar government has allocated nearly 6 billion. 6 billion has been allocated for this purpose. I'm sure Turkish company would like to explore this TASMO option. We are here to facilitate that option as well for the Turkish companies. We are committed to forge the relationship between these two blocks and suggesting the right kind of sustainable value creation. And next, let me move on to what is impressive is the Qatar support, Qatar's and Turkey coming together in terms of fiscal prudence. And Turkey itself has pumped central bank of action during this COVID time is very impressive. They pumped, the government has pumped nearly 16 billion and the interest rate has been reduced, as I said earlier. And here is a clip for the Qatari side to look at objectively and interpret.
Istanbul, a city of more than 15 million people, appears deserted. It's under lockdown along with many other cities in Turkey to limit the spread of COVID-19. But that's straining businesses. On Wednesday, the central bank provided them some relief by cutting the benchmark interest rate by 100 basis points, a move which it says is in line with the actions of its international peers.
As developments regarding the spread of the coronavirus substantially weaken global growth outlook, central banks in advanced and emerging economies continue to take expansionary measures.
That means borrowing costs in Turkey are now lower than the rate of inflation. But with international oil prices at historic lows and global trade slowing down, the bank says domestic prices won't spiral higher. Analysts had expected a reduction of 50 basis points, so the size of the cut came as a surprise. It's the 8th time the central bank has slashed the rate in less than a year, and borrowing costs are now just a fraction of the 24% high reached in September 2018. But the relief for domestic borrowers comes at a cost. It's putting pressure on the value of the Turkish lira against the dollar and driving up the cost of imports. Ankara is aiming for a gradual reopening of the economy from late.
So even though the stress has gone through the systems now, I think in the coming days you will find the ease of doing business will be more meaningful. And that's the reason why they've taken the monetary policy to the extent. On the fiscal side, it is prudent.
But the real assistance comes in the form of a nearly $16 billion stimulus package. It includes the deferral of credit payments for companies whose cash flow has been disrupted by the pandemic, an increase in the lowest pension payments to $232, and measures to assist the tourism sector in the form of lower duties on domestic flights and cancellation of accommodation tax until November.
These are prudent measures which will support. What is interesting is the recent announcement, His Excellency Ambassador also mentioned. I thought it's appropriate to show this clip.
Well, it's a new era for Turkey. That's according to the country's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, as he announced the discovery of a major new gas field. President Erdogan said 320 billion cubic meters of natural gas have been found off the Black Sea coast. He said the country hopes to start extracting and using the gas by 2023.
So that's interesting development as well. Now, when it comes to bilateral relationship, let's look at it. Who can forget 2017, the food supply to Qatar from Turkey? That's extraordinary gesture. And
it's business as usual in food stores and supermarkets across Qatar. The panic buying sprees witnessed last week following the announcement of a blockade on Qatar by some of its neighbors are gone.
Yeah, there was a couple of days where there was no fresh milk, but fresh milk's back on the shelves. Everything seems as normal. Not a problem.
On the shelves, Turkish goods have replaced Saudi products, which this country had for a long time depended on. Signs in supermarkets encourage shoppers to buy local produce and goods to support local farmers and industries. But the emphasis so far has been on airlifting supplies, mainly from Turkey, to avoid shortages.
That was a friend in need. That's a great gesture. Now, there are opportunities in terms of business for remodeling for enough food security. And that's the purpose. And with the fertility which Turkey commands, there could be further investment flows as well as, imports from Turkey to ensure that food security is very well managed in Qatar. Now, we also have to have a friendship growing. Similarly, we have seen...
We've been told matters pertaining to finance, urbanization, standardization, as well as bilateral trade came under discussion. The Turkish foreign minister says that although both of these countries have a deep understanding of each other's issues and support each other on their standings, there is room for improvement.
We signed 8 agreements or MOU to strengthen the legal basis of our relations. And we have been discussing also the regional issues where Turkey and Qatar has same position, and we have excellent cooperation on the regional issues, say it in Syria or this region and even beyond.
After meeting the Emir of Qatar, the Turkish president visiting the bases, the military bases.
So the opportunity lies in multiple forms.
The region is facing a lot of challenges, and those challenges cannot be tackled only by the intervention from outside. So the two countries seem to be, clear on that. They agree on that base that they need to work together. They need to have sort of coordinations on how to tackle this messy situation in the region. That was, of course, seen in different occasions. It was seen on the case of the blockade. It was seen on the case of the coup in Turkey. It was seen in the economic relations. And I think the major milestone on the relations started in 2014 when the two countries decided to have a strategic sort of a committee which basically overseen the whole dynamic of the relation between the two countries, including bilateral relations and regional coordinations.
That's what is interesting. That's where the opportunities lies. So seeing the opportunities, we have to explore the investment partnership and the trade, and of course the banking as well. So that's all happening. We also have a financial center here. The Waqif Bank is coming here, and we have further will explore the opportunities. Financial center is first of its kind in the region, which is adding real value to the overall financial stability. And I'm not going to detail the financial.
Qatar
There are 4 opportunities, that is sports, digital, financial, and media. Turkish companies can collaborate in these 4 areas, which will create a win-win model between these 2 blocks. That is also possible in the coming days. And the new investment law, which is a good framework, 100% ownership is possible. And Law 1 of 2019 regulating the investments of non-Qatari, that is also, I'm sure, Turkish friends will explore. And we have a property law which has been redefined. 100% ownership in this market is also possible. And that we can explore. And public-private partnership model is evolving. Turkey also has evolved a very similar combination we have seen. And these are some of the common values which we are proud of. And commitment to food security, I already discussed it. Office inauguration in 2006. 14 years before, we are the catalyst to support values. Base so that we can grow together. We have Qatar FinTech Hub, which is shaping up well. We want, the bilateral opportunities again, as the President representatives mentioned. Business startup, there is another forum which is supporting the mission. Turkish companies can step into this initiative as well, so that we can explore the possibilities for creating a win-win model.